Spiritual food for thought.
Welcome back to Spiritual Food for Thought. Going through the verses that people often use as a supposed evidence that the first day of the week has now replaced the Sabbath, the seventh day of the week, and that somehow the fourth commandment doesn't matter anymore. It's been interesting to really consider some of these things that people claim. Again, this is not stuff that I came up with. This is what they claim. And, we already touched on John 20:19, that on the same day of the week, at the same day at evening, being the first day of the week, when the doors were shut where the disciples were assembled for fear of the Jews, came Jesus and stood in the midst and said unto them, Peace be unto you. This mention of first day of the week is just pointing to the fact that it was the same exact day he rose, being the same day. That's the point of that verse. In Acts 27, we see that upon the first day of the week, when the disciples came together to break bread, Paul preached unto them ready to depart on the morrow, and continued his speech until midnight. Already in the book of Acts, we have 10 or more times we see the disciples doing things on the Sabbath. The last mention before this is in Acts chapter 18. Move on from there to Acts 27. It says, upon the first day of the week. Now again, I don't know enough about Greek to say that first day of the week is the proper translation versus potentially one, translated first, of the Sabbaths, Sabbaton being week there. Potentially it could be translated either way. Even if the first day of the week is the proper translation, we have a ton, like 10 to 1 or more times that we see them doing things on the Sabbath. So based on the book of Acts, we've got 10 to 1 that they did things on the Sabbath, not on the first day. And even if we say a change occurred, then it occurred probably sometime in Acts chapter 19. If you look, it's not going to be there. You're not going to see it based on the text. And then the only other mention of the first day of the week. I mean, guys, if all of a sudden the first day of the week trumps the fourth commandment, if now the Sabbath, which he said is forever, somehow disappears, you'd think we'd have more than these couple of mentions here. But the other one comes from 1 Corinthians chapter 16, verse 2. Starting at verse 1, now concerning the collection for the saints, as I have given order to the churches of Galatia, even so do ye. Upon the first day of the week, let every one of you lay by him in store, as God hath prospered him, that there be no gatherings when I come. That then by the hands of some people they appoint, they can be taken to Jerusalem, and if he's able to, he'll go with them too. Remember, Jerusalem is one of the places that Paul started fighting against the saints of God, hauling them off to prison, doing other things. He was there when they stoned Stephen. If you think about alms, charitable deeds to the poor, which is the only way mentioned in the New Testament to ever lay up treasures in heaven, it's taking care of widows, orphans, the fatherless, poor people, charitable deeds to the poor. And Paul actually caused some people to be widows or orphans, if you look at what he was doing early on. Here, he's just gathering a collection for the saints. When he comes, they're going to have it put together. So he says, upon the first day of the week, everyone lay by him in store. Get your stuff together and have it collected. That way when I come, people aren't running around grabbing money to send. This is actually something that we do not see very much these days, meaning that it was an actual charitable collection for the saints that was being sent to people in need. A lot of times these days, believers only give to 501c3 organizations so they can get a tax write-off. I believe at that point they already have the reward. They sought a reward from man, and that the reward from God, which should have been done in secret, they may have missed. I'm not saying their heart wasn't right in wanting to give, but we don't see these givings these days. What we see is people who want your tithes and offerings, who say that they have replaced the priesthood. That they're, Jesus Christ is the high priest, now they're the pastors, they're the paid clergy, you're the lay people. They want your money, So they'll grab this verse here and they'll say, see, on the first day of the week, give your money to the church. That's not what this text says at all. But it does mention first day. One of the 3 times after the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ that we ever see first day mentioned. Again, the first 2, you can't say, oh, yep, Sabbath's gone now, we got to do things on the first day of the week. And here, we don't see that either. I don't know enough about how things were in those days as to why the first day of the week was pointed up, that that's when people should figure out what they're going to give. Is it when they're getting their paychecks? Is something else happening? I don't know. But to me, if this is the proof text, to say that the 4th commandment, which God said was forever, which he says when he gets back and he's ruling and reigning down here, that all flesh will come and worship before him on the Sabbath? I'm not going to sit there and claim, well, I thought 1 Corinthians 16 said it was the first day of the week now. He's going to say, I never said that. That wasn't in my word. And you're going to be like, oh, right, that was commentary. Oops. That was the teaching of men, where they added to it. We don't have many options here, guys. Show me where it says the Sabbath is done away with. Show me where it says now it's the first day of the week. And guess what? You're not going to do it from the text of Scripture. You can do it from the teachings of men. But what did Jesus Christ say about teaching as commandments the doctrines of men? He really was not impressed by that. And I'd rather not make the commandments of God of no effect by my traditions. I'm not saying all traditions are bad. I'm just saying you better believe they don't replace the commandments of God. Please consider and pray about this. If you've been journeying along with this study so far, please go back and watch the previous episodes. Consider. But he'll show you his way. He'll show you the truth. Or you can allow man to lead you astray. It's your choice. Be blessed.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.